Hi everyone, this is Cristina.
And Carmen.
And this is another episode of Espooky Tales, the podcast for all things spooky and terrible stories that just make you a little bit depressed. That's what I have today.
Oh, great. Another cult?
No, it's not another cult. It's an exorcism.
Oh, okay. Those are great also.
This one, not so much. It's terrible. I'll give the appropriate trigger warning. After our listener story, I have a listener story first. So if you have a listener story that you want to send into the podcast, you can call our spooky hotline. That number is in the show notes. You can also email espookytales@gmail.com. You can attach a voice note to the email. That's another option. You can just write it in. You can also DM it on our socials. Any of those are fine. We love receiving your stories. This was a phone call. There was 2 stories that were both short, but I wanted to separate them. So there's no goodbye in this one because it cut off and then she called again to leave the second voicemail.
Oh, okay.
So that's where she says goodbye. So she didn't just hang up. There was a proper goodbye, but it's going to be in the next one. All right. So our listener story. Are you ready to press play?
Yeah, I am.
Good afternoon from Denver, Colorado. My name is Chata Perez, and I love your guys' show. It's so relatable. Let me start off with my story. As almost every Mexican family, we would go every winter caravanning to Mexico. We all stood in one house, so maybe up to 4 families in one household. So that meant a family to a room. So I was there in a room with my dad, my stepmom, and my 2 younger siblings, a brother and a sister. It was Christmas time, everybody drinking, partying, so I went to bed. But in the night, which I thought was a nightmare, I felt something jump on the bed and it started choking me. But when I opened my eyes, it was my sister, but she had like a demon face. I couldn't really move. When I did manage to move, I kind of kicked her with my foot and she went flying on the floor. So when that happened, all the lights turned on and I thought I woke up. Maybe I wasn't sleeping. But when my stepmom checked, it was my little sister and she was crying on the floor, saying that I had pushed her off the bed. I know, so scary. And since that point, believe me, I have not ever slept with my sister or wanted to be alone with her in a room. And this was over 20.
Wow.
Oh my God. I don't know. I guess her sister's a demon, full blown.
I don't know. It could have been that in her own sleep paralysis nightmare, she registered her sister.
But why was she on top of her?
Yeah, that's the weird part because her sister said she was climbing into bed, crying. She kicked me. I was just climbing into bed. But then it's why was she on top of you, choking you?
Yeah.
With a demon face. That's concerning.
Exactly. Yeah. It sounds like, I guess if she was sleeping next to her and then her dream, she thought she was on top of her. So then she kicked her. You could still kick her out of bed if she's next to her.
Yeah. Still terrifying. I don't blame you, Chata, for not wanting to be alone with your sister even 22 years later.
Same. How do you even...
Oh, that's scary. It's, it would have been less scary if the sister just woke up and hadn't fallen off the bed. If she was just hey, are you okay? But it's more terrifying that she kicked a demon off of her and then her sister was on the floor crying. That's scary.
I wonder if she asked her hey, what were you doing?
That's a good question. Let us know if you've ever asked her what were you doing? What if she really was on top of her choking her?
Yeah, because there's a reason she doesn't feel still now comfortable with her, because she's a demon.
Both things would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh man, speaking of demons, today we are talking about a possession. This, and I will give a trigger warning for child abuse, child sexual abuse, and murder.
Wow, great.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Carmen. But you listener, you can skip this if you want. Carmen can't. So this is the Exorcism of Rosa Fernandez Gonzalvez.
Oh, okay.
And I know we focus on Latin America, but you know what? When it's convenient to me, I also claim the term Hispanic. And so...
So she's from Spain?
Yes. This case is from Spain. So today we're Hispanic. Don't be her panic, be Hispanic.
Something I forgot what it is.
It doesn't matter. I might have said it wrong. But that's what we are today. We are Hispanic. This is a truly tragic case. You know, exorcism movies and like stories, fictional stories, or like stories that don't end in murder that have to do with exorcisms, I think are super scary and entertaining. But like sadly, in the real world, in real life, most exorcisms that take place end up in murder. And they're not as fun.
Yeah.
It's like murder justified by religion. So yeah, that's what this is. This takes place during the 1900s in Almansa, Spain. This town, it's known for its wine. It's in Spain's wine region. I guess that's a thing.
Okay. I love me some wine. Maybe I'll make a trip to España.
Yeah, tal vez vamos a España. I don't know how to do a Spanish accent. I'm sorry. I was going to keep going and I was like, I'll stop.
I know. I feel you.
Almansa also has a rich history. The town has been around since like the 14th century. The name apparently is derived from an Arabic word that I can't read, but the word means halfway of the road.
Okay.
And it dates back to the Roman Empire, like during the times of the Roman Empire.
Wow.
And, you know, for the longest time, it was known as a peaceful, quiet, touristy town, wine, castles, at least until the case that it's either known as the Exorcism of Rosa Fernandez Gonzalvez or the Exorcism of Almansa. And so, again, this is horrible. 11-year-old Rosa Fernandez Gonzalvez, called Rosie by her loved ones, was born on April 22nd, 1979. She was an only child. Her parents were Rosa Gonzalvez Fito and Jesus Fernandez Piña. Oh, and also I'm going to refer to 11-year-old Rosa as Rosie, just because there's a lot of names in this case and her mom is Rosa. So Rosa Senior, Señora Rosa, she's going to be Rosa.
Okay. Yes.
11-year-old Rosa is Rosie.
Rosie.
For the rest of this episode, yes. So Rosa, she was a well-known curandera in Almansa, and apparently Almansa itself, the town, is like very, very heavy into spiritual healers, curanderos, magic, you know, brujeria type things. Like they're known for that, and Rosa was one of many curanderas.
So they didn't get the memo from the, what is it called?
Oh, the Spanish Inquisition?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they didn't get the memo from then.
Apparently the Spanish Inquisition was fucking around everywhere else except Spain. I don't know.
It unfazed them.
Truth be told, I don't know what the Spanish Inquisition was doing in Spain. Like if they had their own things going on there.
Clearly nothing there in that specific town. I don't know about anywhere else, but...
Right. So I'm sure you know this, but in many cultures that do practice healing, spiritual healing, the healer is not supposed to take money. Everything's supposed to be donations because it's not supposed to be about the money.
Oh, actually, I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, it's a thing. There's a town in the Philippines, or actually not a town, a whole island in the Philippines called Siquijor Island. And the island is known for its witchcraft, and they have like a yearly festival with a sorcerer. I mean, the proper word is not sorcerer.
Oh, I think I heard about this.
Yeah, horror story. I worked on an episode.
That's where I heard it from.
Yes. And it's an excellent episode. I'm a little biased, but it is good. And in that research, I learned that the whole town, like the healers, they don't take money. It's all donations. So yeah, it's a thing. And Rosa, she was no exception. She, quote unquote, was not in it for the money, but she was making so much money.
Houseway.
Through donations.
Oh, right. Okay, donations.
Yeah, donations. She was very sought out for her curanderismo. Like, she was one of the most popular healers in this town.
I'm sorry, this might be dumb of me to say, but I didn't know there was curanderos in Spain because I thought they were hella Catholic. So that's where my mind is at.
Well, that's the thing. To me, Catholicism is very intertwined with spiritualism and curanderismo. There's almost no separating the two.
But I thought the curanderismo came from like indigenous traditions, and then it kind of like just melded here in like Mexico, Latin America. But Spain itself, I just didn't think it would be like that because, you know what I mean?
No, I did think that too. But this town is also like, I mean, sorry, I'm like trailing or mingling my thoughts. Spain is very superstitious. That's where the grapes come from, like the 12 grapes at
Yeah, that's true.
New
like
Year's.
maybe it just
So
it's always been a thing and I just didn't realize it.
yeah, but I also didn't know how much some towns believed in curanderismo, like
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Like what you were saying, like I did believe that was only like a thing in Latin America.
Yeah.
But no, it's huge in Almansa. And so Rosa claimed to not be in it for the money, but she was making a bunch of money doing this. So much that her husband, who was a shoemaker, quit to help her because she just had so many clients.
He quit the shoemaking business.
Yeah, he did. And apparently she was trained by some other big known healer in this area called Enrique El Villena. And she was given the title Sister of the Light. And yeah, that name sounds a little culty.
Yeah, it does.
And their house was filled with people looking for her help every day. She truly believed that she had these powers and that these powers ran in the family. So she convinced her sister Anna to help with the business, to become a healer with her, because she believed that, or it's believed, at least in what she learned or how she was trained, that curanderos that worked in pairs were stronger, and especially if they were like family.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because they also say like el don, the gift of like the supernatural, seeing things like that, it runs in the family. Brujeria, there's lines of brujas, right? So yeah, that makes sense. And also, on top of her sister Ana, she also convinced her, not convinced, but her neighbor Maria Angeles Rodriguez Espinilla. She brought her onto the business as well. They were very close. They allegedly might have had like a romantic relationship as well.
Ooh.
That was a little secret.
Okay, Miss Ana Gabriel.
Right? Rosa's neighbor Maria brought on her sister Mercedes to the business. So the four of them had their healing group together.
Okay.
And I mean, like everything was normal, you know, the business was good until...
It's always in the until.
Dun, dun, dun. This is where you insert the inverted picture, and they were happy until they weren't.
The picture, and then it either zooms in or out, and then their eyes turn red or black.
Yeah. So on September 15th, 1990, Rosa and her sister went out for dinner with Maria and Mercedes. While they were eating dinner, Rosa told the group that she wasn't feeling good. And so the four headed back to Rosa's house. The events that followed is what would result in the exorcism of 11-year-old Rosie.
Just poor Rosie. What did she didn't ask for this.
She didn't. No, it's fucking terrible. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's uncomfortable. So the Spanish news would refer to the following 4 days as La Orgia Satánica.
As an orgy?
The satanic orgy, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they called it. So the four women took hallucinogenic drugs or plants. It's not like confirmed what they took first. And then like Rosa and Maria, who had the relationship, hooked up and they welcomed Ana and Mercedes to watch.
Okay.
And then the next morning, Rosa and Maria went to collect leaves from a plant called beleño. Do you know anything about this plant? Because I didn't. I had to look it up.
No.
Okay, well, it's a poisonous plant.
Okay.
Yes, in English it's called henbane, and it's part of the nightshade family.
Okay. I've heard of nightshade.
Yeah, then you're like, oh, I don't want to mess with that.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard good things about nightshade.
No, me neither. But this plant is native to Europe, and the physical and psychological reaction to henbane includes loss of muscular control, dilation of the pupils, heart palpitations, hallucinations, delirium, and in large doses coma and death. So
okay.
Yeah, not good. It also has medicinal purposes. Like if you extract something from it, then you can use it as an analgesic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
For pain. So it's not all bad. But if you take it, then it becomes a hallucinogenic drug that can also have a whole lot of other symptoms. So that's what they went to go look for. They came back to the house. And when they came back, Ana, Rosa's sister, she was scared. She was afraid. She didn't want to take...
Ew, I just realized. So she watched Ana watch her sister.
Hey, I don't know. Yeah, I would have thrown up.
Hey, like at first I was like, hey, whatever, you do you. But now it's incestuous. I mean, it was already incestuous, but I just realized it was incestuous. And so now I'm like ready to throw up also. Like that's disturbing.
Yeah, because she had Ana and Mercedes.
Oh, isn't she her cousin?
Mercedes is
Ana is Rosa's sister.
Yes. And then Maria is Rosa's neighbor slash lover. And Mercedes is Maria's sister.
So each of them are sisters. There's, oh, no.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, already disturbing. And it just gets, that's like the lightest thing here. So Ana was afraid. She went home. And then at some point, everyone went home. Then on September 16th, 1990, the next day, Rosa calls her neighbor, Maria, asking her to come over. So Maria grabbed her kids and went over. And when she got there, Rosa told Maria that the spirit of Maria's evil husband, Martin, was possessing her and trying to hurt her. Hurting Maria, not Rosa. It's confusing. I was confused.
Okay, yeah. So the spirit of Maria's evil husband was trying to hurt Maria.
Yes. And so Rosa needed to perform an exorcism on her because she was being possessed. And then somehow also needed to perform this exorcism
Naked.
on Maria's children.
Okay.
No, naked. I mean, that is a reasonable conclusion you made.
Yeah, I think so.
So this exorcism grew more and more violent and disturbing. At some point, Rosa put her fingers down Maria's children's mouths to make them vomit. And it was to the point that they were bleeding and vomiting.
Oh my God.
That's how aggressive it was. Terrible. And she would have continued this if it wasn't for Maria's evil husband, Marti. I don't actually know if he was evil. I doubt it. But if it wasn't for her husband, who barged in demanding for Maria and the kids to come home. So he took the kids from Rosa.
I mean, that sounds controlling. I'm just kidding.
Hey, if you don't let your kids participate in a terrible exorcism, it's a little controlling. So he demanded that Maria also come home, but Maria refused. So he grabbed the kids and left.
Good.
Yeah. At least he saved his children.
Yeah, who knows what would have happened to them if she kept going, if no one had put a stop to it.
I believe that they would have been killed, honestly.
Yeah.
So a little bit later, after he leaves with the kids and Rosa and Maria are still in Rosa's house, Mercedes, Maria's sister, arrives at the house. She finds Maria and Rosa in bed together.
I was going to say bed before you said it, but I didn't say it in time.
Okay, well, yeah, you would have guessed right. And they told her that they were Jesus and La Virgen Maria.
Okay, so they were role playing, but to the delusional level.
Yeah. Yes, and then Jesus, Rosa's husband and Rosie's father, he also at some point got home and came across also like a strange sight.
Them in bed? He saw them?
No. He saw Rosa performing an exorcism on Maria, and he was worried about what he saw. It must have looked horrendous. I don't know. They looked like they were in bad shape, is what he said. And he called Ana, then his own sister, Josefa, to come over and help. So when Ana and Josefa arrived, they watched as Maria screamed as Rosa performed the exorcism. These rituals that were part of the exorcism, which is not, I mean, they're
making it up,
not like official, obviously.
Okay, I was wondering, like, where are they getting their like exorcism rules from, like guidelines, policies, and procedures? Like, where is that coming from?
Right.
Does it come from the Catholic Church? Were they even Catholic? Am I just assuming they're Catholic because they're from Spain? Yeah.
It never says, but I would assume that too, or I would have. So these rituals involve sticking needles in voodoo dolls, throwing things around the room, throwing books, breaking things, and peeing on the floor.
Okay. What the fuck?
Yeah. And more of this continued on to the 17th.
So it's been what, 2 days of this?
It started on right? It's a total of 3 days.
Okay, because one was an orgy, not an exorcism.
Yes. Okay, 16, 17, 18. So yeah, it started on the 16th.
Okay.
So now it's midnight on the 18th, right? And at this point, Rosa and Maria had locked themselves in a room, leaving Rosa's husband to take care of Rosie in the house. And so at midnight on the 18th, Mercedes returned. She had apparently got home at some point and she came back to continue the so-called exorcism. So Rosa's husband then decided to check on them and he found them naked and covered in vomit and urine.
What the fuck?
Oh man. And
How did he not smell that before? Maybe that's why he checked on them. I don't know. I couldn't say either, but like that's just so disturbing.
I don't know. Extremely disturbing, yes. And when he opened the door to check on them, so at this point it is just Mercedes, Maria, and Rosa.
Okay. And Mercedes, can you remind me who Mercedes is again?
Mercedes is Maria's sister.
Okay.
Okay, so then when he opened the door to check on them, they started hitting him, and so he closed the door again.
What the fuck? Okay.
And then Maria got her period. She started bleeding. And so Rosa interpreted this as a sign of demonic possession. And she began hitting and kicking Maria. And then Maria, probably in an attempt to save herself, said that she wasn't possessed anymore and that this evil spirit was actually now possessing Rosie.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So then Rosa orders Mercedes and Maria to bring Rosie to her, and they do. And I don't know where her father was.
Okay, I was about to ask, because if he saw how fucked up they were, why would he allow them to take her? That's just wild.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't there, but where would he be if his wife was acting like that? Like,
or he just let them take her.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, which I think is what happened, honestly. So yeah, they take her into the room, and then all three of them begin to beat Rosie.
What the fuck?
And this is the worst part of the episode. So probably if you don't want to hear the details of how terrible this goes, skip like maybe 5 minutes or so. So they start beating Rosie, all three of them, in order to expel the demon. Rosa's husband hears the screaming and crying, and now he barges in. Again, I don't know where he was before.
Maybe he was in the bathroom. I don't know.
Yeah. When he opened the door, then the three women begin to beat him, push him out of the room, and lock the door. I just feel like he could have fought harder. I don't know, but
I refuse to believe that he couldn't just punch them. Like, come on. Like, I don't think they could overpower him, but I don't know what they look like. I don't know.
Yeah, we're presuming here. They could have overpowered him, you know.
I mean, I guess they did.
They must have. They must have, right?
Yeah.
But like Maria's husband went over there and took his 3 children, but they weren't in such a frenzied state.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He could have been scared. Whatever. I don't know. They overpowered him, let's just say that, and locked him out. Rosa then claimed that Rosie was pregnant with the devil's child.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. And so then Maria and Mercedes held Rosie down while Rosa put her hand in her daughter to try and pull out the fetus.
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
I'm not going to go into detail.
At any point, you could have just not. What the fuck?
It's horrifying. It really is. So Rosa pulls out Rosie's uterus and intestines.
You could do that?
Yeah, it happened.
Oh my God.
It happened. Yeah.
Okay, and where was the dad? Because obviously that would have been a reaction so strong that anybody could hear.
Extremely painful. Yeah.
And you would have known it was from pain, and you would have had to step in. Like, where was he?
Right. I'm wondering. I don't know. So after this happens, he broke down the door. And Anna was with him at this point. They called emergency services, 911. I don't know what the number is for 911. Police and an ambulance they called. And the screams coming from the house were so loud, neighbors could hear it. I just feel like at any point, even neighbors could have been like, what the fuck is going on? Let's all band together.
Even the first time when he had tried to step in, that first time, like,
yeah,
if he stepped in because he heard the screams, yeah, that means like neighbors probably heard it also.
Yeah. So before police and ambulance could arrive, when Ana and Jesus barged in, the 3 women like looked up and said, oh, we can revive little Rosie, but we need Anna's eyes. So then they like started attacking Anna. This just gets worse.
So right now, Rosie is hurt, whatever, probably just laying there, right?
Uh-huh.
So then they're like, we can revive her with Anna's eyes. And then the only other sane person here is the dad.
Yes.
Who couldn't overpower them in the beginning to help Rosie.
His daughter. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yikes. I am already feeling bad for Anna's eyes.
It's terrible. So they, jump on her, start like beating her, start trying to claw at her eyes, but she manages to escape somehow. I don't know.
Okay.
If she could escape, why couldn't Jesus overpower them earlier? I don't know. Again,
It doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. I don't know. By then, ambulance arrived and police. Rosie was no longer alive
Oh.
by the time the ambulance arrived. Rosa, Maria, Mercedes, and Jesus and Ana, they were all arrested at the same time. But charges towards Ana and Jesus were dropped pretty quickly. The autopsy revealed that Rosie, of course, had never been pregnant.
Duh.
Because you know how she said she was pregnant with... she said she was pregnant with Satan's child, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that when Rosa pulled Rosie's intestines out, it caused her to go into hypovolemic shock. And that is how she died. That's what the cause of death was. And it was revealed that she only had her liver and stomach left.
Oh my God.
I guess Rosa had pulled everything else out.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It's truly disturbing. And so Jesus and Ana served as witnesses in the trial against Rosa, Maria, and Mercedes. Their trial was held on January 22nd, 1992, so 2 years later. The three women were acquitted on the grounds of insanity.
Okay, I could see that.
I truly believe they were not in the they didn't know what they were doing, I don't think.
Yeah, I think just from the sound of it, I mean, it was just a complete state of delusion and you know what else?
Because that was so violent.
But a complete acquittal. And I don't know what they were doing between those 2 years. I mean, they need help.
Yeah. They were apparently at a psychiatric hospital, it seems.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that, like in some type of facility. They were diagnosed with acute psychotic state with mental derangement and were sent to a psychiatric facility a little bit longer. So they were acquitted, but they were still sent to back to the facility. In said ruling, so I'm going to read the ruling.
Okay.
So in said ruling, the defendants, Rosa Gonzalvez Fito, were acquitted of the crime of patricide and injuries. Maria de los Angeles Rodriguez Espinilla was acquitted of the crime of murder and injuries, as the court understands that in both defendants, there is a complete defense of criminal responsibility for mental insanity. As for the third defendant, Maria Mercedes Rodriguez Espinilla, she's acquitted of the crime of murder as her direct participation has not been proven. In the facts, she's also acquitted of the crime of injuries due to the defense of temporary mental disorder. So that was like a really fancy way of saying what I said.
Yeah.
I just wanted to sound fancy for a little bit, like a lawyer, or like a judge or like a jury member. Because they have like the lead jury person read the charges. So
the foreman.
I've never been to jury. I skipped it once and I thought I was going to jail.
That,
yeah, this is when I didn't know I had ADHD and I forgot to go. That should have been a sign.
Yeah.
So all three women were released after a few years of being at the psychiatric hospital. I couldn't find exactly how long. Maria moved to Valencia after her release, and Mercedes moved to Valladolid. Yes, I never know if I'm saying that city right. Cities in Spain. But Rosa, I don't know where she moved to, but she never returned to Almansa. Her neighbors said that they would kill her if they saw her. Oh my God. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's terrible. It's terrible.
No,
it's terrible.
yeah,
it's all
it
terrible.
is.
And she did do some interviews after her release with some Spanish channels. And there was one interview I watched of hers where she claims she has already paid for what she did through her sentence. She has already served her time at the psychiatric facility and that she just wishes to be left alone and in peace. That every 3 or 4 years, there's a new show that comes out to cover what happened that day, what she did, and that she has to relive that every time it happens. And she understands that this is how she has to live now, but it's not fair. She doesn't know what happened, why she did any of it. She doesn't understand. And maybe that's her punishment. And she regrets what she did. That's what she said. And I mean, like, what can you do? Can keep them in the psychiatric facility forever?
I mean, she's right. She did pay for her crimes. She spent her time in the psychiatric institution. And if it was true insanity, which she was acquitted for that, so legally it's true, she doesn't know. So yeah.
Yeah. When you look at comments on YouTube videos covering this or news articles, there's like, oh, she should have gotten the death sentence. She should be killed. She shouldn't be alive anymore. But like none of these women had an abusive history. By all accounts, they love their children.
Yeah.
And on this day, they happened to take a bunch of hallucinogenic drugs. I don't know why, because there was even no stories of them having done this before. Except they used these plants and things like that in their healing services. Yeah. But there was no history of them whatsoever acting like this. Like truly to me, as, I mean, bad as it sounds, like she already has to live in hell knowing
what she did
and that she no longer has her daughter
or her husband. Yeah.
Because who's gonna stay I mean, like, you have to be so strong to stay with someone after that, and I would not.
I don't think anyone would, honestly. No,
I don't know who. Yeah And so I don't know, like, what else is there left to do? You can't just go around killing people. And yeah, honestly, I think that they did have true temporary insanity, because none of them had like a history.
Yeah. I mean, nothing else really explains it.
I mean, they were acquitted. Yeah. It's just a horrible thing where the poor little Rosie is, you know, the real true victim here. And these women have to live with what they did, and like I don't know what else there is to do, because I don't think killing them is fair either.
No, and it doesn't bring Rosie back. It doesn't take anyone's pain away.
Yeah,
the death sentence in general, I don't know, a lot of people are against it, a lot of people are for it.
Yeah,
but most places don't have it.
Yeah,
and there's a reason.
Yeah, and I mean, the case, it shook the town, like, to its core.
Yeah.
It's so violent. And newspapers released headlines like, girl killed in satanic ritual, but this girl was killed in a religious ritual that was not real.
I mean, it's an exorcism. That's not a satanic ritual, right? It's like the opposite of that, no?
It's satanic in the sense that they're driving Satan out.
Yeah. I mean, it's just wild to think what drives someone to that. I mean, we kind of said it was insanity, but like how and why? And I guess we don't have answers for that.
Yeah, I was going to say the worst thing is that we will never have answers, because they don't even know, because it was temporary insanity. Like, yeah, all they can do is like blame the drugs, but
yeah,
like, it's just horrible. It's horrible. I don't even go, like, if you want to go into the detail of how this poor girl like truly died, because I didn't go into details, I almost threw up.
I don't see why you would want to do that. Yeah.
No. But you can just look it up by what the name, Exorcism of Almansa, or the Exorcism of Rosa Fernandez Gonzalvez, and you can see how it all, like, how her intestines and everything was pulled out. It's like truly gruesome. But yeah, it's just like in the end, nobody. There's no justice, except they served their time. But still, it doesn't. I don't know. It just feels. Ugh.
I mean, but what would justice look like?
No, yeah, that's what I was gonna say again, because I already said it. Like, they served their time, yeah, and so yeah, I'm not gonna keep repeating the same thing. But yeah, it's just horrible that the things that happen in the name of exorcisms, really,
or in the name of religion.
Oh yeah, truly horrible.
Yeah, that was horrible.
We need a palate cleanser. This brings us to the end of the episode. And I'm sorry to put everyone through that.
Yeah, that was disturbing.
It's a truly disturbing case. But you know what? I expect our worst cases to come out of Spain.
I was going to say, wasn't there, the last time you talked about an exorcism, wasn't there one in Spain also?
Yeah, but it wasn't as bad as this. It was
Oh, okay. This was bad.
What the movie Veronica is based on. That's what we covered last time we did something out of Spain.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this one, ooh, I'm traumatized.
Same.
Maybe I'll look for a not friendlier, but like a nicer ghost story next episode. It's been terrible, case after case. Like, I'm sorry, everyone. But before we go, do you have any spooky recommendations?
Nope. I've been watching Supernatural and Married at First Sight.
Oh, you're back to Supernatural.
Yeah, that's what I put on when it's just me at the house and I'm not like doing anything. And then I've been watching Married at First Sight. I think it's season 16 with my husband.
Nice. I actually do have a spooky recommendation today.
Ooh.
You know me, you know I love zombies. Mm-hmm. And it takes me a while to find like a zombie movie that I'm entertained by. Usually I just rewatch All of Us Are Dead or Dawn of the Dead or All of Us Are Dead is so good. I thought there was going to be a season 2.
Yeah, what happened with that? I thought there was going to be a season 2 also.
Yeah, very upsetting that it's not out there.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we're going to make an American version. And I'm like, no, just give me season 2 of the same thing.
Oh, I don't want an American version. It won't be as good, probably.
Yeah, no, probably not. But I found a movie. It's called Valley of the Dead. It's on Netflix. It's from Spain.
Oh, speaking of Spain.
Yeah, speaking of Spain, yes, Valley of the Dead. It's set during World War II. And there's you know how Spain was fastest during
Yes.
World War II. And so it's 2 soldiers from the fastest Spain army meet up with the anarchists, and they have to unite forces to fight the zombies.
Wow.
It's good. The acting is, because that's the other issue with a lot of zombie movies that are just like random, that I find the acting is horrendous.
Because they're like B movies or C movies, whatever they call them.
Exactly. But this one, the acting, good. It has little funny moments, but it also has, you know, creepy.
See, that's what I like, scary movies, that the people don't take themselves too seriously, because in real life, yes, you're scared, but sometimes you can't help but laugh at the situations that you're finding yourself in.
Yeah. There's one scene where they're like, they're walking, there's zombies ahead of them, they're like in one spot trying to figure out what they do, and then 2 of the guys, because they're guys, like they're soldiers, they're men, they start arguing, and one of the guys is like something about how I don't know, you know how people have a comeback where it's like, oh yeah, well I fucked your mom.
Yeah.
But the guy says, well I fucked your dad. And then the other guy's like, are you gay? And so yeah, like people have like real human life moments like that in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, right? So yeah, and good zombie kills, because those are always fun too. And yeah, I mean, it's in Spanish, so if you don't speak Spanish, you could do it with subtitles. But yeah, I thought it was fun. I like it better because I also, a while ago, I ran across a movie set during the Mexican Revolution that these revolutionaries stumble upon like an hacienda, and there's these sisters living in this hacienda, and then the reason that their hacienda is still standing is because they have like their own herd of zombies.
Oh.
They can resuscitate. In that movie, it took a while to get good, but I was like, I'm gonna give this a real shot because it's a Mexican movie, and it's zombies, and I mean, I like both of those things. And so that one, at first I was like, oh, when is this gonna start? But when it starts, you know.
Oh, okay. Some things take too long. I don't like that either.
Yeah, it took too long. But this one, Valley of the Dead, no, it was good from the beginning. So yeah, I recommend it. It was good.
I'm gonna check that out.
You should. But yeah, I guess now this does bring us to the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Our new book club, we still have to record the episode because I'm giving people a chance to reply with their answers if they want to. So we'll probably record that next weekend at the time of recording. But the next book club book will be the Vampires of El Norte, which I'm so excited for.
I'm excited. Yeah.
I've read only good things about it.
I mean,
but I also ignore a lot of bad reviews.
I haven't heard anything about it, actually. I haven't seen people put like post reviews or anything.
I add things onto Goodreads, like want to read, so that's when I come across like ratings and stuff. But like I said, I ignore bad reviews anyway.
I'm sure I'm gonna like it. Like
I'm positive. I started reading it before I had finished the other one.
Oh, I forgot you had it.
I got to chapter 2, but like things start happening by the end of chapter 1. Like,
Okay, I need to order it. I think I was deciding between the audiobook and the physical book, because the last one, I listened to the audiobook first and then I read it, and I liked both. So, but I can't just keep buying both.
I know. I think the same thing, because I like to have the physical one to go back for when I write out the plot, but then I don't want to buy both, you know, like you just said.
Yeah.
It's a struggle. No, the audiobook is just as good as the first one. It seems they have like 2 different like voice actors, just like.
Oh, so it's like similar, where it's like 2 from 2 different point of
views? Like
views?
A guy and a girl.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so. That's what it seemed like. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I could be remembering wrong, but I'm almost certain.
I mean, we'll find out because we're going to start reading it.
But also don't quote me. but also we'll find
Yeah.
out. Yes. So yeah, again, that was Vampires of El Norte. And I'll also send an email out to let people know. I'm also posting the book club questions and like what book we're reading next on Patreon in the free version so that everyone can look at it. Because you can join Patreon as a free member and then you only have access to things that I make free. And I'm making the book club stuff free. So you can either subscribe to the book club newsletter on Substack, which the link is in the show notes, or you can do it through Patreon. Whatever's easier, because you can join Patreon as a free member. And then while you're there, maybe you change your mind and maybe you upgrade to the $3 tier or the $8 tier where you get bonus stories or a fancy keychain in the $8 tier. That reminds me, actually, speaking of Patreon, we'll see how feasible this is because, time and we have issues scheduling. But I do want to start doing a series on Patreon where I share paranormal news with Carmen. So I've already found some very good headlines. so that's, if you want that, and then creepy Reddit stories that we read and react to, join the Patreon. And now this is the end. Do you have anything to plug, Carmen?
Yeah. So if you like learning about Latin American history, topics that you knew nothing about, maybe had heard about here and there, and just would like to learn more about Latin American history, topics about like civil wars, stories of resistance, power community, sometimes bad stuff like racism, dictatorships,
Corruption.
U.S. intervention, regime change, that kind of stuff, then yeah, check out Historias Unknown. And then we also have Novelas con Cafecito, where we're watching Teresa. We recap the episodes and we talk shit along the way. And then we introduce a new segment with that, Chronically Online con Cafecito. And it's just talking about internet cheese, man. It's going to become its own podcast once we finish watching Teresa. And we just look forward to that because we love talking shit.
Yes. We love chisme and internet trends. So yeah, thank you again, Carmen, for joining me today. And everyone else, I don't know, don't take that plant we mentioned in the episode and go perform exorcisms. Don't do that.
If you think someone's possessed, they're not. Just end it right there.
Send them to a doctor.
Just get those thoughts out of your head because it's not true. Except for our listener story, because that was a demon for sure.
No, there is some listener stories we've received that I'm like, okay, I know I've been skeptical of possessions, but that sounds like a possession.
Send them to the Catholic priest ASAP.
Yeah. Just don't do it yourself is what we're saying, I guess.
Basically, no DIY exorcisms.
Thank you. That's it. No DIY exorcisms. Stay spooky. We'll catch everyone next time.
Bye.
Bye.